Ambitions are much higher. Now, once you get onto this road and away you go, you put your pedal to the metal and you make an enormous amount of progress in a short period of time. Now, there's another thing about this road, and it's very much like the Autobahn in Germany. What do we know about the Autobahn in Germany? No speed limit. All men love that. All men love that. Anyway, and I've been on the Autobahn with friends of mine who drive 150 miles an hour. They got some interesting laws on the Autobahn, which they should have here, by the way, is you're not allowed to stay in a lane if a car comes up behind you. You must move over. If you don't move over, you'll be fined in prison because it's too dangerous. When you have an accident on the Autobahn, they don't send a wrecker, they send a scraper. Anyway, so now here's an interesting point. Once you get onto the Autobahn of life, the high road, you'll be making more at every given stage, and you'll be making more faster and more predictably, and you'll end up with far more at the end. Now, here's an interesting point. Is people on the high road versus people on the low road, there's not a whit of difference in intelligence or ability between the two. In fact, there are often people who are on the high road who are not as smart as you are. There's nothing will make you madder than to see somebody who's dumber than you making more money than you. Have you had that experience? Isn't that a bummer? I mean, how could this idiot be doing so well? Well, the answer is the idiot's on the high road. He has mastered the critical skill of being on the high road. And one of the things that Ambit has given you is the critical skills. All you need to do is do the critical skills over and over again, and you will get yourself onto the high road. And it's really a matter of choice. Make a decision to get off the low road, get onto the high road, and then put your pedal to the metal. And one last point is if you jack up a car and it ratchets up and it locks at each stage. Well, it's the same thing with learning new knowledge and skill. Is your increase, or the slope on your curve is what I call it, is the slope on your curve increases as you learn and apply new knowledge and skill. As Carlos said, the knowledge doesn't do any good unless you apply it. As you learn and apply and learn and apply and learn and apply, you increase the slope on your curve. And your job is to increase the slope on your curve so that you're making more and more, faster and faster, more predictably, and you get to your financial goals earlier. Is that true? Say yes. All right. So that's what we'll talk about. And remember, every bit of knowledge and skill increases the slope on your curve. Which brings us to a question, since I have not been with you before. Who is the most important person in this room? I know you. But you are right. The answer is that you are the most important person in this room. You are the most important person in your entire world. You're the most important person in your family circle. To yourself, you're the most important person in the universe. You're important to your parents, you're important to your children, you're important to your friends, you're important to the people who you sponsor and promote. You're important for a lot of reasons. One of the wonderful things about America is we place the dignity and worth of the individual above virtually all else. And so you are important. And the reason I mention this is because how important you feel you are largely determines the quality of your life. When I learned this many years ago, it changed my whole direction of my life. How valuable you feel you are, how worthwhile you feel you are, how much you like yourself, largely determines the quality of your life. The more you like yourself, the more you like other people. The more you like other people, the more they like you. The critical determinant, one-to-one relationship in your success in this business, how fast you get onto the high road and how fast you go on the high road, will be determined by how much other people like you and trust you. The product itself is wonderful. It's untouchable. It's a Teflon product. You can't even find a hole in it. The whole way it's been put together is beautiful. So the critical question is, do I like you? Do I trust you? Do I feel comfortable being involved with you? Now here's the most wonderful thing, is the more you like yourself, the more you like other people. And the more you like other people, the more they genuinely like you back, and they want to be associated with you and work with you and follow your recommendations and promote other people. So the starting point is to go to work on ourselves. And what I learned was that your self-esteem, how much you like yourself, is the core of your personality. And you can raise your self-esteem by just saying, I like myself. I like myself. I like myself. I like myself. Say it. Say, I like myself. I like myself. I like myself. Now, when I first learned this, I was so far behind, I thought I was first. That was too quick for some of you. I know. I'll have to slow down. I was talking to someone from Alabama recently, and I remember the story of the New York businessman was calling on a businessman in Alabama, and the New Yorkers speak very, very fast, 100 miles an hour, and he was speaking very, very fast. And the fellow from Alabama said, sir, he said, do you notice how slow I talk? And the guy from New York says, yes, of course. He said, sorry. He said, well, that's how slow I listen as well. So I'll try not to talk too fast for you. All right. But how much you like yourself is really important, and it's a wonderful thing in life to understand this, is that all of us are plagued with fears and doubts. The greatest single obstacle to our success is the fear and doubt. What if I call this person? What if they say no? What if they don't like me? And somebody, I think it was Carlos said it, somebody said it really importantly, when you're in your 20s, you really care about what people say. And when you're 30s, you don't care about what people say. And when you get into your 40s, you realize that they weren't even talking about you at all. I mean, nobody cares. Nobody cares. You know, I have some friends in Finland. In Finland, there's a little story that's applicable. Is the Finns are very inner directed. They've got 8 months of winter and 4 months of summer, so it's dark much of the time. So they're very hypersensitive about themselves. There's a story about an American businessman and a German businessman and a Finnish businessman walking down the road, and they run into an elephant. And the German looks at that elephant and says, boy, look at all the ivory we could get from that elephant, what we could do with that ivory. Sell it, make a profit. And the businessman from Texas says, look at that elephant, look how much beef we could get out of that. How many steaks we could get. All right? And the Finn says, oh, I wonder what the elephant's thinking about me. Well, a lot of us are like that. We think, what are people thinking about me? If you knew how little people thought about you, you'd be insulted. I mean, nobody's even thinking about you at all. Anyway, so the point is that in life, because of childhood experiences, we all start off with doubts and fears. And the two primary fears that we have, and my daughter has a 7-year degree in psychology, and I can condense her 7 years into a few minutes together. Basically, which makes her really mad. Anyway, she's done 3 hours of practicum in order to get her license. I say, well, I'll tell you what the biggest problem with most of your people is that they're still mad as hell about something that somebody else did or said when they were younger, and they haven't gotten over it yet. She said, you can't simplify psychology like that. I said, yes, you can, because that's the big problem. You know. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So the thing that holds us back is fear. And if you can imagine a teeter-totter, we have fears of failure and fears of rejection, fears of loss, fears of embarrassment, fears of poverty, fears of being ended up like bag ladies, as Terry was saying. We have tremendous fears. And these fears are what get in our way and hold us back. They cause us to be hypersensitive, to worry, what if I fail? And they cause us very much like deer in the headlights, they cause us paralysis. They cause us to stop. And then we start to think of all the reasons why. Well, maybe I shouldn't call him or her today. Maybe it's the beginning of the week. I'll wait till later on in the week. And then it's later in the week. Well, it's kind of later in the week. Maybe I'll call him on the weekend. Then I'll call him next week. And then, and so we start to use our incredible minds to think of reasons not to do the things that we need to do to be successful, rather than using our minds to do it. And it's because of our fears. Now, here's the wonderful thing: is the more you like yourself, the less you fear. And when you say, I like myself, 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 your courage and confidence goes up, and your fears go down. So every time you think about phoning a person, say, I like myself, I like myself, I like myself, pick up the phone. Just before you go into a meeting, say, I like myself, I like myself, I like myself. Whenever you're feeling nervous or tense for any reason at all, just say, I like myself, I like myself, I like myself, I like myself. Now, here's the wonderful thing, is the more you like yourself, the less you fear. And your conscious mind can only hold one thought at a time, positive or negative. If you fill your mind with this idea, I like myself, I like myself, I like myself, I like myself. And what happens is that your fears go down, and then you just act. Take action. Pick up the phone, call the person, ask for it, and so on, and then your fears go away. We were talking about this at lunchtime, is your courage comes after you do the thing you fear. Throughout history, they found every kind of technique possible. The basic rule is do the thing you fear, and the fear disappears. Do the thing you fear, and the death of fear is certain. So don't wait till, I'm going to wait till I have lots of confidence, then I'll call some people. No. What you do is you call the people, and the confidence follows that. And you say, I like myself, I like myself, I like myself, I like. Now, all top salespeople, all top people in entrepreneurs like yourself have high self-esteem. And the high self-esteem, they start off not with great self-esteem, but as you get more success experiences, you start to feel like a winner. As you feel like a winner, you feel happier. When you feel happier, your self-esteem goes up. Your self-confidence goes up, and you want to do it again and again. And pretty soon you find people who couldn't lead silent prayer in a phone booth when they started off are now up here on the stage, and they're animals.